The Norwegian government has ruled against the Jehovah's Witnesses in a historic case. But how did we actually get here? And what consequences has this resulted for the Jehovah's Witnesses? Let's unpack. Hello beautiful people and welcome to my channel. My name is Monica for those who are new. Thank you so much for stopping by. Here we talk about the Jehovah's Witnesses and I also create beauty content. If this resonates with you, please hit the subscribe button. Do not forget to like and comment to show the algorithm that you enjoy this type of content and more people can actually see it. And let's get into the video. So to get a proper understanding of this case, let's start right at the beginning in 2016. When the Norwegian government was alerted that, hey, something fishy is happening in the Jehovah's Witness organization by ex-Jehovah's Witnesses. So after being alerted, the Norwegian government proposed that they should revoke the tax-exempt status of the Jehovah's Witnesses due to their concerns regarding their internal disciplinary practices. Specifically, the issue centered around the organization's refusal to allow disfellowship members to appeal their expulsion. In Norway, there were concerns that this practice violated human rights laws, particularly regarding the appeal of such decisions. So after being notified, the Norwegian government did their job actually as a government and did investigate the Jehovah's Witnesses. And after investigating the Jehovah's Witnesses, it was clear to them that, hey, we have to revoke their tax exemption. What people need to understand is that in Norway, religions do get tax exemptions and they do get a grant from the government. However, to receive that grant and to have that grant, which the Jehovah's Witnesses have been having or have had for over 30 years or 3 decades, you need to abide by certain rules. And it's like a contract. A contract has rules and stipulations that you need to abide by. And if you don't abide by those rules or stipulations, you do break your contract. And because of them breaking their contract by violating human rights, which will be proved again and again, the Jehovah's Witnesses did lose their funding. Excuse me for this, but in 2022, Valgardsvarstad Hogland, oh my gosh, the country's governor of Oslo and Viken in Norway denied the Jehovah's Witnesses their state grant for the year of 2022 in response to concerns about what she perceived to be exclusionary practices. The Jehovah's Witnesses had received the grant, which currently amounts to around $1.5 million annually for 3 decades. According to the Jehovah's Witnesses, this money is used for international disaster relief work, supporting their religious activities in Norway, such as translating their literature and also building kingdom halls. And this was shared by Jorgen Pedersen, the spokesperson for the Jehovah's Witnesses in Norway. Now, just to clarify here, I could be wrong. If anyone knows, please correct me if I am wrong, but it seems like the grants that are given to religious organizations in Norway are given for the year prior. So in January of 2022, it was announced that the Jehovah's Witnesses grant for 2021 would be revoked. And this is the statement that was put out. And this statement is quite detailed, even though it's very short, but it's straight to the point. After receiving notifications from former members regarding the exclusion and expulsion of members, the Ministry of Children and Families has asked the state administrator in Oslo and Viken to review the Jehovah's Witnesses' own accounts and publications. Guys, in review to the state administrator has uncovered several violations of the Religious Communities Act. So Jehovah's Witnesses were already in violation and they are just unhappy that they got caught, basically. So several violations were uncovered by the Norwegian government. And in this statement, they put out what violations that the Jehovah's Witnesses were in the wrong for: the right to free withdrawal and the exclusion of children. Like, we knew this, but I don't know why the Jehovah's Witnesses thought, like, no, this is okay. Like, why do they think they are above the law? And they have lawyers. Do they not know the rules and regulations of adhering to contracts? Like, do they not read their contracts? They just want money without any consequences. Like, the government should just fund them. Like, this is such entitled behavior, I must say. But let's continue, because we're gonna read their response, and you know, a Jehovah's Witness response is never gonna have anyone held accountable, definitely not them, and they're always gonna blame someone else. In an email to RNS, Jehovah's Witnesses spokesperson Jared Lopez said, "Witnesses only disfellowship an unrepentant member who makes a practice of serious violations of the Bible's moral code. Even then, Lopez added, Jehovah's Witnesses don't force members to limit or cease association with former congregants, whether they've been disfellowshipped or withdrawn voluntarily. That's up to individuals. Now, we all know that is a lie. Congregation elders do not police the personal lives of congregants, nor do they exercise control over the faith of individual Jehovah's Witnesses. Pedersen added that the serious sins that might lead to disfellowship include this, and this, and this. He said a congregation will always have to try and help restore their relationship with God. But if the problem persists, Jehovah's Witnesses feel compelled to respect the entire Bible, including instructions to not associate with unrepentant sinners. Now, what makes me laugh about this is that they just made updates in regards to their disfellowshipping rules or policy. And I'm just asking myself, like, if you guys literally said this a year ago or a few months ago, what has changed? Like, why did God change his mind or her mind? Like, why? What happened? Because you just said that, no, you adhere to the complete Bible. So did the Bible change in the last few months because you guys have changed your rules? And then what's crazy is that I was like, you know what? Let me just look up some of the rules in regard to disfellowshipping, and here it is. Like, literally, you just go to jw.org and you just look up disfellowshipping practices or how to disfellowship, like whatever you want to type in there, just type in disfellowshipping something and this will pop up. You see how they are mandated on how to disfellowship in the congregation, how to disfellowship within a family unit. They even make provisions on how to handle the disfellowshipping of a minor. Like, it's literally in their publications. Though the Jehovah's Witnesses appealed the country's governor's decision in September 2022, the Ministry for Children and Families upheld the ruling. So in October the same year, the country's governor said in a press release that unless the Jehovah's Witnesses would rectify the conditions that led to the refusal of state subsidies, they would lose registration, which they did a few months later in December. So without its national registration, the Jehovah's Witnesses cannot perform marriages and they do lose their government grant. So the Jehovah's Witnesses were very upset and desperate. They need this money, like they really need this money. So what did they do? They sued the government and then went to court against the Norwegian government. So the court case lasted for 10 whole days. I wish I could go with you guys day by day, but there's so much evidence and information to go through. This video would be 3 hours. But day one was introductions, along with day two. The first day it was the Jehovah's Witnesses, and then the second day it was the defense team. Then day 3 to day 8, the Jehovah's Witnesses testified. On the fourth day, it was the last day where Jehovah's Witnesses testified with a human rights expert. Day 5, former Jehovah's Witnesses testified. Day 6, former Jehovah's Witnesses testified again with a secular expert. Then day 8, the Jehovah's Witnesses lawyer argues with the state. Day 9, the Jehovah's Witnesses lawyer concludes his argument, and then Ben Elders testifies. And then the final day, which was day 10, was the closing argument. And guys, as you can see here, like, it is just a lot. There's so much information that we can just go through, but it's so damning for the Jehovah's Witnesses. This man, this vile human being. Let's move on. But as you can see, in court, the evidence was presented, and you can see literally from the images on the Jehovah's Witnesses website, jw.org, it did encourage the baptism of children. So yes, so this is the first day, and you can literally see images of children being baptized. However, this was the Jehovah's Witnesses. They just took an image of a seemingly teenager, I would say, because they said here that no, this mainly applies to children over 15 years of age, which according to the religion, they have reached the age of maturity. So they only encourage like teenagers to get baptized. Well, the defense team was like, are you sure? Are you actually sure? Because they really went into their website and they found multiple images of children being baptized, the youngest being 6 years old. So this court case was very interesting. Like, this defense team was really on job, and they really unpacked a lot of rules from the Jehovah's Witnesses and basically showed that they lied. There was a day specifically where the Jehovah's Witness defense team was visibly upset because of just how damning the evidence was. Like, this court case was hectic. Low key, I wish I watched it. But as you guys can see, there was just so much evidence, and there's just so much detail to go over. So if you're interested in going over all of this information, it will be tagged in the description box. But let's get into the consequences of this ruling. So now that the Jehovah's Witnesses have lost this case again, they now have to change their rules, which they kind of did. They made amends or changes to their disfellowshipping policies. Now, I don't think it's enough. I don't think it's enough, but it's not up to me. It's up to the Norwegian government. So in the next coming months, years, I don't know how long it's going to take. Probably it's going to be months because these people are so desperate for money. We're going to see them probably appeal again the case and say, we've made changes. And the Norwegian government will now have to determine whether this is enough or not, because the Jehovah's Witnesses need this money. $1.5 million. $1.5 million that is tax free. They need this money. So that is the Jehovah's Witnesses, a Norwegian case highlighted, or just, summarized. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was very interesting for me to go through all of this information. I am not a lawyer. I was just reading articles and seeing what is on the internet. And this is why it actually took me so long to cover this case, because I realized that a lot of publications are actually negatively covering the story. Like, when you Google the Jehovah's Witnesses in Norway, the articles are a bit negative. So I'm wondering, is this maybe the Jehovah's Witnesses PR team, at hand? Because I don't understand why someone would negatively cover a story that is trying to preserve the rights of children. So yeah, I don't know. But anyways, I want to thank you all so much for watching. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave me a question in the comment section. Thumbs up. I hope you've subscribed, and I will see you all in the next one.